We're back!
Oh my god.
Welcome to Adventures in Aanthara. Believe it or not, it's Saturday at 10:39 Eastern Time, but we're starting a game because we love D&D. And I love you all for being here. So, rather than dilly-dally, since it's going to be 1 a.m. by the time this is done, quick recap on what has happened. The newly formed group managed to deal with some things in Prower that needed to be dealt with, and then were sent up to Sawfield on the northern road to pursue some other interests, possibly to find some sapling leaves for Mother Mia, possibly to talk to the mayor, who the mayor of Proward apparently reached out to about you all, um, and possibly to find out what, if anything, is going on in this area to do with the Blightlings, because you've heard that stuff is going on. So, after a fascinating journey last session that included goblin therapy, and that's really all I can remember anymore because that was just something that happened. You made your way to Soffeld and have arrived at the gates, and that is where we pick up this session. So, you all have passed on the road in the Everfall Forest to it would be to the southwest-ish, to the left side of the road, and have now reached the gates of the city of Sawfield. And in front of you, you see a pretty decent-sized, sprawling sort of city square area. Lots of stone buildings, a little bit more advanced than Proward looked. There was a lot of wood and thatch in Proward. This is a bit more stone. And you see a large market ahead with all kinds of things, booths and stores, and a quickly noticeable by both sight and smell, a whole lot of hanging meat. Butcher shops, people with aprons covered in blood, all kinds of animal parts hanging from various things. It is clearly a town where they value their livestock and the meat it produces. And then beyond the city, beyond the buildings, quite a ways away from where you are now, but tall enough that you can see them from here, you see these rolling hills of Sawfield with small little homesteads dotted into the sides of the hills, like Tolkien-esque hobbit holes. You don't know who lives there. Maybe they're hobbits, maybe they're not. And you've reached the entrance to the town. What would you all like to do?
Before entering, I think Brightwing's gonna take out the cloak that she bought, with Yasnip a long time ago and put it on and cover her feathers and stuff.
Okay.
What's the time of day?
It's about noon. You're getting here around midday because you woke up the night after the goblin therapy, traveled for about half the day, most of the morning into the middle part of the day, and you're getting here kind of right around noon.
Can I go look for my own bedroll?
It's probably not a bad idea.
Since Yaz was kind enough to share his with mine with me. Yeah.
So, we need to get into the woods. We need to look for the saplings. Do we want to find a place to put up the horses? We have to return those, don't we?
It might be safer to go into the woods during the day.
Mm.
Yeah.
Save
Well, it
it
wouldn't
for
be a
the morning.
terrible idea to leave them here. So, mostly for their safety.
Do we see a stable of any kind?
From where you're at right now, you do not see a stable of any kind because you're in kind of this market square area. You figure that, and you can see larger buildings beyond the square, that if there's stables and inns and taverns and things where you could put up the horses, they might be a little bit deeper into the city. Not far, but...
So you think it's best to go for the saplings in the morning, then?
Either in the morning or now. Before we lose much more light.
I think, personally, playing it safe, we should wait until the morning just to have the maximum possible amount of light. But that's just me.
We'll likely be out a while anyway. I didn't see any from the roadside, I believe.
Do you know what the approximate size of the requested item? I wasn't there. I'm sorry when you conscripted this.
Didn't we get a picture of it? Like a general drawing of what we're looking for?
How big is it? How much
She
does it weigh?
described it to me, right?
She did describe it to you, yes. Silvery grayish bark, purplish
Yeah.
leaves.
Just the
They would
bark.
stand out. The leaves is what she needed.
Oh, okay.
There's oil in the leaves.
So not anything that we would need, like the cart to carry.
I suppose it depends on how much we want to bring back. She didn't really give a quantity from what I remember, just that it was helpful that it could be used. The
I mean,
area
do you
that was
know how
affected
much-
was a lot.
Do you know how much farmland typically they had back there that could be fixed? Or would need to be?
I know quite a bit from when I was walking the fields.
Well, let's
Think-
perhaps. I was going to purchase some bags, like just burlap bags or something, in the town today. If we decide to go tomorrow, we could take them with us and we could all pack
the
one bag
reason
out.
the reason why we be looking for saplings is so that they would stay fresh and they would not wilt on the journey back.
Perhaps someone in the town would know what these are, or where we could find them,
Or how to store them.
or how to store them,
Oh.
yes.
Right, Wing, are you saying the reason that we need a sapling is because they requested the entire tree to be transplanted?
No, the leaves need to be fresh.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
we can't just pull them off the tree.
Right, I
Yes.
They
think
have to
we
be.
had the idea of just getting the oil off of them while we were here and then bringing that back. Because that's what they really need. They don't just need the leaves, they need the oil.
Yes, I think I could do it, but I'm not very competent in it. But I could try.
That's something that we can ask around town for as well.
Sure. Then maybe an apothecary or someone who has a bit more comfort in handling something like this for a small fee.
Well, we can look for that, and depending on the time frame, maybe if they have the information on how to extract the oil, they may also know where we could find them within the woods, so we're not just walking around blindly. And if it's deep, we may need to think about having preparations, perhaps another tent if we can find one. Might be a good idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Alright.
Wasn't there also a sickness here?
I believe they mentioned the presence of those, well, at least something that could possibly be associated with those dark creatures that you all have encountered before that may or may not be in the area. That's something that could be investigated should we want to set aside time to do so.
I believe they said some of their livestock was sick
Hmm.
from the creatures.
I think
Right.
Mayor Maddox said that it was something extended, but even the people that we just met on the road didn't really mention much of the creatures being here.
Well, either way, we can do a little bit of asking around today, if you would like, just to get a bit more information, and then we can create a game plan of what we want to get done while we're here.
Okay. Have you guys been walking and talking
Yeah.
throughout this?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone who wants, roll a perception check. Just to maybe spot things that could be of use.
Got a 15.
2.
4.
Wow.
I agree.
I got a
Set
natural
4 plus
20.
7.
Natural 20!
Let's go!
First roll!
23.
Hey!
Starting off
Leah,
strong.
did you say you rolled a 4?
I rolled a 4 plus 7.
Wow. Brightwing's perception check's taking a turn.
Yeah.
Okay, 11. Alright. Okay. This is interesting. Aedwin and Eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
You two notice this. It stands out to you a little bit because of the kind of edgier nature of both the shop and the person who you see behind the counter of it, and it kind of stands out to you too, in particular, because of who you are and what you do. A lot of what's in this area seems like farm-raised stuff, but you see one store that has a very like cabin in the woods-esque decor, and there's a lot of pelts and like furs hanging in it, and you see a sign that reads Hunted Harvest. And once you get close enough, you can also tell some of these animals are clearly more of like forest game animals. You see even a deer with a rack of antlers, and some like pheasant looking birds hanging from it. And behind the counter, you see a young halfling woman, probably in her 30s, light bronzish skin, very toned, athletic-looking figure, short, very short, curly black hair, maybe an inch long on top and shaved on the sides, with these jagged designs shaved into the side of the what little bit of a buzz cut there is on the side. Several piercings in each ear, multiple different types of metal and wood, and a double gold ring septum piercing in the middle. And as you get closer and as you pass by, you see a tattoo. She's got kind of like these hunter's leathers on, but there's a good like large section of her chest area that's uncovered. And there's a tattoo of a rack of antlers that spreads all the way up to her collarbone and her neck.
Bruh.
That basically covers this whole area. So she stands out quite a bit from the rest of people in this town. And I would say, given what you guys are looking for, maybe is of interest to you.
You see that, right? I'm not.
It's hard to miss.
Okay. I think we found our forest expert. And I just kind of like gesture towards the shop.
The rest of you see what Eclipse is gesturing towards.
Oh. Alright.
I think they might know what we're looking for or what to avoid in the woods, at the very least.
I think the latter's probably more
Yeah.
likely.
I'll go ahead and walk forward.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
go with you.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh boy, this will be great.
Back up,
as
it's
you
fine.
as you get closer, she's kind of turned to the side with this what is probably a normal sized cleaver for a grown human person, but in this halfling's hands is just this massive looking cleaver, just whacking at the haunch of some large creature, something to separate bone. She sees you guys approaching. Something I can help you with.
A lot, actually. Quite a decent bit.
You hungry?
We'll get to that. My name is Eadwyn. I'm a member of the Scarlet Swords. My compatriot here, Miss Faye, and I would like to inquire about the Everfall Forest, if you have a moment.
You'd like to inquire about the Everfall Forest. Well, most people pay me for meat. Maybe you can pay me for words. Name's Fennel.
Fennel.
Fennel Flinteye. She hold out an extremely bloody hand.
Kick-ass name. Yeah. A bloody hand, you say? I will absolutely shake that.
All right. She kind of like, when you take it, she takes a second, like, very firm grip.
She
Seems
called your
somewhat
bluff.
maybe impressed that you took the bloody hand.
Okay.
Tell me what you want to know, and I'll tell you what the price is.
We're looking for a specific type of plant, and also if there are any imminent dangers around the forest that we need to be aware of while we're searching for it.
Are there any imminent dangers? Yeah, there's imminent dangers. It's a forest. There's all kinds of predators in there, all kinds of prey too, and I don't know what you all would fall under in that category. It kind of looks past you at the rest of your group, back at you two.
I sort of pat the sword.
Uh-huh.
You don't have to worry about the whole prey thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, there's all kinds of things in there. Pretty much anything you could expect to find. And actually, of late, there's kind of been other things you wouldn't expect to find. I've tried to avoid them for the most part.
Those are the things that we're more interested in.
Okay. Well, I've heard a lot of talk around town about some dark creatures. I haven't seen those myself. I have seen a bunch of weird... Hold on. Forgot about the price. A gold.
Damn.
I'm gonna walk up behind them and just put 3 gold on the table.
Okay. Ah. She speaks my language. Okay. 3 gold. That's all the information you could want. Let's see. Where was I? Yeah. Haven't seen those things. Have seen some weird stuff going on with the livestock and the plants. Found a few, like, squirrels falling out of trees, dead where they shouldn't be. It was weird. I didn't eat them, and I didn't take them back to be eaten because it didn't seem like a good idea. Besides that, something large that growls. Not in the way that I'm used to hearing, because I've heard jungle cats and, boars in there before. Maybe a crocodile now and again, if you're close to the river. This sounded a little different, and I just took off, because I'm smart. But
Good on you.
it sounded big, so there's that. You said you wanted to know something about plants? Not really my specialty, but what are you looking for?
Yeah, Faye, what exactly is it that we're looking for?
They're trees with like a silvery bark and purplish leaves, right? Above table, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I've seen those before. There's a pocket of them. I don't know. I feel like they've been gone for a while, but they might have recently started growing again.
Are there any landmarks that we would be able to find relatively close by?
Landmarks. Okay, let's see. If you enter from the west side of the forest, you want to... That's if you're heading south along the river. And then there's this stream that's marked by a rock right off the river. Kind of looks like a shark's head that's facing eastward. And then if you follow that river, you'll start hearing a lot more creatures. That means you're far enough away from civilization to be close to where those saplings usually are. It's probably a couple-hour walk. You should get close to it if you follow that stream.
Are the animals more nocturnal?
Some of them are, some of them aren't.
What about the large
Depends.
growly one?
Large growly one I've only heard once. It was probably around dusk, but can't make any promises about when and where it likes to hunt.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I could do a little bit of investigating once we get inside, should we find anything a bit uncouth in there.
Fennel, do you have any suggestions as to where we might find lodging for the evening?
Well, there's all kinds of options. Depends on what kind of place you're looking for. What do you like? You like the taste of the town kind of place? You like cush?
Local.
You like cozy?
Place
Taste
local.
of the town.
You're trying to stay in the Stonewalk Square, or are you gonna head to the docks?
Let's stay closer to the square.
Alright. In the Stonewalk Quarter, there's the Toasted Froth Tavern, and there's the Riverman's Wife. You probably want to go to one of those two. Riverman's Wife's a little more local goodies. Toasted Froth is kind of more like your cozy spot. It's very cozy if you like, fireplaces and books and shit. I'd personally go for the Riverman's Wife, but to each their own. Teddy owns that place. If you go there, tell him I sent you.
Okay.
All right. Well, is there
How-
anything else?
How about a local apothecary?
Local apothecary.
Or anyone that knows more about plants. I know you said that's not your forte.
I mean, there's Bernadette's. Bernadette's Baubles. That's in the Drift Wharf Quarter. Do you guys know where you're going in here? Have you been here before?
Have I been here before?
No, you have not, I would say. In fact, I would say no one has.
First timers trying not to look like first timers.
Fair enough. Not doing the best job, I'm not gonna lie, but so there's a Stonewalk Quarter. Stonewalk Quarter, that's where you are now. It's kind of all the main buildings and the shops and shit like that. The taverns that, uppity people would prefer to stay in are here. And then there's the dotted hills. You can see them. She points over her shoulder at those hills you guys saw. And then if you go past that, that's the Drift Wharf Quarter. So if you want something, well, if you like fishing, that's definitely the place to go. That's it's a little less how do I put this? Modern day. Let's leave it at that. So if you prefer stone floors and nice beds and shit like that, this is a little better. But if you really want the taste of the town, the Drift Wharf Quarter is pretty cool. And then if you go down to there, that's going to be where the lake and the river are, and that's where you're going to want to follow that westward until you hit that rock.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any additional questions?
What kind of meat are you selling?
Pretty much anything you can hunt. I got venison, I got quails, I got pheasants, I got boar. You got anything you want in particular?
How much for like a rations amount of venison? Like enough for our group. For like a
for everybody?
meal for a night. Yeah.
Meal for a night for everybody.
Yeah.
Call it how many are you? Call it silver, 5 copper.
I put 2 silver. Cool. I'll take that.
Good tipper.
Have any
I like
dried
this girl.
meats of the same either?
Jerky.
Yeah.
Hell yes, that's pretty much all I eat. You want some of that?
It's about 2 pounds.
2 pounds. All right.
Yeah, let's
Kind
do
of
it.
goes back, opens a cabinet somewhere, pulls out a couple pouches of things, ties a little bundle, brings it back. Let's call this another 2 silver, and we're good.
And I'll give them 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go.
How often do you hunt?
I mean, it depends on the time of year, but a few times a week usually. I mean, I'm not that big, so I can't bring back that much at a time, so I just make a lot of trips. Plus, it's not far, and I love being out there. A lot better than being in here. That smells like shit in here.
It
Place doesn't
does
matter.
smell rank as hell. You're right about that.
Yeah. I'm probably not contributing to it, to be honest. Ooh, nope.
It's not so bad.
You will get more meat if you went against the bone and attacked.
She eyes you closely. What's your name?
Brightwing.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brightwing.
Oh,
Anything
fuck.
else?
I go behind Yasnip.
Anything else you guys need?
Any survival gear, tents, anything of that sort that you might have? Bedrolls?
If you want any of that stuff here, I'm gonna go to Pierce Here's Pride. That's the general store. It's in the Drift Wharf Quarter. They've got everything.
Ian's Pride?
Pierce's Pride.
Pierce.
Pierce is a city. You would recognize that name. You in particular recognize that name.
Was the Baubles place also in that area?
Drift Dwarf.
Yeah, Bernadette's. Yeah, also in the Drift Wharf Quarter. Also, you said you're looking for like weird planty shit information, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Who knows? You can ask at Bernadette's, but if I don't know something, and if anyone doesn't know something around here, It's a good idea to find old Jed. He's like 500 years old or some shit. Probably the most likely guy to know. Usually
I
hanging
hope
around the
somebody
Driftwolf
that
Quarter
old would
also.
know.
Find him on the dock somewhere.
Over by the docks? Okay.
Yeah. Old Jed. Jedediah Mossrock's technically his name, but no one calls him that. In fact, don't call him that. It's old Jed.
Old Jed. Do we have to add the old on there, or is it just Jed?
Yep, old Jed.
Old Jed.
It's a point of pride for him or some shit. I don't know.
I mean, when you're that old, right? You just.
I guess so.
Respect.
Yep. All right.
You haven't encountered anything that uses these, and I'm going to pull out 2 of the Kruthic teeth. Have you?
I mean, I don't know what you'd use them for. You could make a cool necklace out of it, I guess.
I mean,
What's it from?
have you seen a creature that would have teeth like these?
Oh. She holds out her hand.
Hand them over.
This big? No. I don't
Big,
think so.
probably not.
This is yeah, this is something nasty.
You're
Hope these
correct
aren't in
about
our
that.
forest. Did you find it near here?
A few days away.
Alright.
Far enough away for it to not be a threat.
Tosses it back to you.
Dead enough now to still not be a threat.
Also true.
Alright, that's good to know. Don't love meeting something with teeth as big as my hand.
Alright. Well,
Good
guess
luck.
Go to Driftwolf.
Whatever you're doing.
Oh, and horses. Where can we put them up for the night? Is that also Driftwolf?
No, don't take your horses to the Driftwolf Quarter. Even if you stay there, I'd leave him at, I'd probably leave him at the Toasted Froth. If you're gonna stay in the Stonewalk Quarter, I'd definitely leave him there. If you're gonna stay in the Driftwolf Quarter, I'd still leave him there, to be honest. Well, I don't know about your horses, but most horses don't like walking out on those docks. And I don't think the people who run the docks too much love the idea of horses walking on them either. They're real old.
Yeah. Typically, we try to keep the horses off the dock. They just sort of get in the way of supplies and other things.
Well, Fennel, you've been most helpful. Thank you.
That's what they tell me. Feel free
Is
to
there-
stop by if you finish up all your jerky.
Are there any creatures
Got plenty more.
specifically that you're looking for if we're out and needed some picked up?
Nah, I like to do my own work.
Very well. Start heading looking for the taverns, I think.
I'll hang back
Okay.
as
But
they were
I'll-
all walking away.
Yeah,
I will also say-
I too was also going to be hanging back.
Okay. Two of you were hanging back. I will also say that when Fennel talked about the Toasted Froth, she would have pointed you in the direction, so you know which way to go. Okay, the two of you hang back as the rest walk off. You see each other hanging back.
Yeah,
You two in love or something?
Quite the contrary.
No, you don't have to worry about that.
I was just going to say, and I'll walk up and kind of like lean on the edge of the counter, like maybe just like pop my hip up on it a little bit, but like I might be trying to play some music over at the Riverman's Wife later. So if you got any free time, pop by and see me. And I'll walk away.
and I walk.
And I'll just look at her, shrug, and then walk away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fair enough. All right. You guys looking for the Toasted Froth or the Riverman's Wife, or are you heading to the Driftwolf Quarter?
I think. Did we ever find a place to put the cart?
I think that has to be the Toasted Froth, probably.
Yeah, probably the toasted
Okay,
broth.
okay.
That's what she said. All right.
Yeah.
You look for the
Okay.
Toasted Froth?
Alright.
Okay.
It's quite literal,
Uh,
too.
Yeah, I was like.
Multiple levels.
Yeah.
Does not take long.
Okay.
Maybe 5 minutes, and you do see this big, warm, comfortable-looking tavern. Lantern light from within. That says Toasted Froth Tavern, and it does have a stable attached.
Cool.
Oh. put these ones up for the day and head out in the morning. Get anything else we need, make our other stops. Sound good to you all?
Yeah, I just want to double check. Make sure they're good with Crater. Yeah, just
I think that actually should be a point of contention with every person that we do Crater with at this
trust me,
point.
it's a habit. I have already.
Cool.
Have you
Just
thought about a
checking
card or
on-
something that you could pass out as you book his stay somewhere?
Yeah,
That
I
says,
just
warning, my horse hates everyone that's not me.
That's the weird thing. It's not everybody. It's just sometimes. So it's just kind of it's easier face to face. That way I don't
Victor
get.
is very sweet.
He is very sweet. Some people just have abrasive personalities with him. I don't know. Not you, Yasna.
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
It's easier face to face. Kind of warning people. That way they don't leave me with a fine if he breaks something. Or
I've
someone.
heard, in the big cities, a lot of people that have horses that are not friendly usually put like a red ribbon in their hair or something. I'm not sure if he would consent to that, but that might be an option just visually.
I'm
as a
gonna
cue.
turn to Crater. And I'm gonna check my bag.
Would you like me to tell him?
I will pull
Yes,
something out of
please.
my disguise kit that
Yeah.
is something along those
I'll
lines.
just-
All right,
I'll just
fair enough.
cast. I'll just cast speak with animals outright.
Okay.
Just gonna rummage
can I
around my
tell?
bag for a while.
Yeah.
Would you mind Eclipse putting a ribbon in your hair?
What for?
Well, I think it would look nice on you. For one thing.
Well, in that case, yeah.
Okay. I don't think the other horses would want ribbons.
No.
Would you like a ribbon?
We're gonna talk
Who
to
are
all
you
of them
asking?
over here.
Of course we are. Of course we're
Of course
gonna
we're
talk
gonna
to
talk
Are
all
you
of them.
asking both of them?
Yeah, I'll ask both
Yep.
of them.
Not a red one, of course not. If you're going to give me one, it has to be black. Perhaps gold, I could pull off gold, but otherwise it has to be black.
Silver I think you could pull off.
Okay, silver I could pull off as well.
I was gonna be like, or a white one.
Do you have pink?
Yeah.
I will ask. And I'll switch back to common. Do you have pink?
Was that for Crater?
No.
Just out of
No.
curiosity?
No, that was the white
Crater.
That was
horse.
for Faye.
Okay.
I'm sure, like, the look on Faye's face is probably, like, extremely obviously pained. Like, how could you possibly ask me something like that?
Hold on. There's a
Okay.
thing.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
was she nice in asking for it?
Oh, well, she was just curious if there was pink as an option. It was very nice.
I'll, like, kind of... I'm assuming I have, like, some kind of, like, leather vest on or something as part of my leather armor, and I'll kind of, like, reach into it, and I'll pull out one little pink piece of ribbon. Very tattered, very old. If I could have it back later, she could have it for right now.
Can I do an insight check on that ribbon? Like, how she feels about it?
Yes, you could roll an insight check on the ribbon. Only because of your passive insight do I allow these rolls.
What does the fabric speak to you, Brightwing?
Tell me.
What does it
Am I
say?
Level 2
Is it on
the
spell
ribbon or
speak
on
with
me?
fibers.
It's on you.
On you. 19.
19? 19. Okay,
Do I get to roll for it?
are you trying to hide or withhold any? Well, you don't have to tell me. Roll a d20.
It's a natural one.
Okay. Well then,
That question.
I will leave it up to you what you share with Leah / Brightwing. Obviously, it's very surface level interpretation, even with a 19 over 1 based off a ribbon and one sentence about it. But anything you want to share, you're free to.
I would just say that you would see how well worn it is, and when I
Yeah.
pass it to you, I'll just hold on to it for an extra 1/10 of a second longer than what would be usual. But I'll let go.
You know what? I think she might look better with feathers. And I'll keep the ribbon, and I'll just take one of my pink feathers and braid it into the hair.
Tuck it back in, and I'll pull out something sparkly for the black horse.
All right.
Whose name I have not heard aloud.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, is that true?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
And then
Alright.
did we
And the
did we
red
do-
ribbon for Crater.
Yes.
Alright.
He was okay with it?
Yes, he was very, no disturbances. He seemed very willing.
Okay. I mean, if this is common enough, this could help. Where should I put this? I haven't
This
really.
is common.
accessed
This is
it.
common IRL. I don't know how common this is in Kathos.
That's such a cool thing, though. Did not know. Fun horse.
I mean, it's the same thing I'd get from like dogs with certain color collars, where you're like, "Do not touch this dog."
Usually it's on their tail. It's like, don't approach me from behind.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That's a
cool.
good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to do it, or would you like me to do it?
I mean, you can still talk to him, right? Go ahead and
Yeah,
let him know what's
I can
up.
talk to him.
I'm okay with that.
Eclipse is going to tie it into your tail, Crater.
Okay.
Just
All
gonna
right.
really carefully kind of tie it on there. It's a little hard for me to do, but it's done.
It looks
Alright.
great.
Thanks.
Look at you, buddy, getting accessories. I love it.
He tries to look back at his tail, but moves his butt at the same time, so he never really gets the right view. Goes in a few circles.
It looks really
Okay.
good.
Thanks.
I'll create a minor illusion of just his ass with the ribbon on it, like a mini version of a horse.
He's in the middle of one of these circles and comes around and sees it and just stops in his tracks, eyes wide.
That's why. Yes.
And my ass.
My ass. He does not know.
You know,
what
when
to
I
do about
came
this.
up with Crater, I didn't think we were gonna get this far with this horse.
No.
He was literally just here to be a little piece of shit, and here we are. All right. What a fucking day. All right. Cool. Well, all right. That'll help. At least now we can, people can also identify him. That's helpful. Thank you.
All right. You guys want to go find someone in the tavern?
Yep.
Okay. You step inside. It is. It's like if you imagine, like in Hogsmeade in Harry Potter, that nice, warm, sort of candlelighty place. It's very much that. You see a bunch of colorful carpets, armchairs around fireplaces, little bookshelves scattered about. It seems quite
This
nice.
is the three
And
broomsticks?
there is a
Oh,
sign. There is a little thing
yeah.
under the sign that says Toasted Frost Tavern that says Best Butter Ale in Kathos.
Oh, let's go.
And you see walking and setting down a platter of drinks at someone's table, and then seeing you, a Fearbold woman. Looks to be maybe in her 50s or 60s, gray fur, kind of a peach front of her nose. Big wreath of wavy light green hair that have like tinges of peach in it, and green eyes, and very simple, like tavern keeper, light brown clothes. And she comes over to you after she sets drinks down. Oh, is there something I can help you with?
We're looking to put up a few horses outside and perhaps rooms for the night. Were you all wanting to stay here?
Yeah, sounds good.
And also we have a cart that we're trying to put away.
Absolutely, of course, yeah. How many rooms did you all need?
How many rooms would you like?
Do you guys want to share?
I
think Faye needs her own. So, one.
Do you need your own?
I mean, I'm willing to saddle up if I absolutely have to, if funds are that tight. But I always prefer my own room.
Okay, so own room, own room. I think we can manage our own rooms if you guys want.
fine.
5 rooms?
Is that alright with you, Brightwing? Or would you rather be with somebody?
I can share a room if you want.
Okay.
4 rooms.
So 4?
4 rooms. All right. That'll be 5 silver for each room.
Oh.
And then you wanted to put up a few horses
Yes.
We have 3 and a cart.
and a cart. That'll be another 8 silver.
I'll cover that.
Oh,
The one with the red ribbon on him, he's a little bit of a troublemaker. Hopefully he won't cause too much issue. But just
I'm sure it'll be all right.
okay, cool.
We're not
Just a little
fully
heads up.
sure how long we're gonna be here. Is that a daily rate?
That is, yeah. But if you do end up needing to stay longer and you want to re-up, we can do it at a little bit of a discount. I like return customers, so.
Alright.
Respectable.
I'll give an additional 8 silver, adding to Eowyn's. This is just for the stables for 2 nights, just in case.
Appreciated. Are they tied up at the post?
That's a good question.
Yes, you would have tied them at
we
the
would have
post.
tied them.
Okay.
Yes.
We know
And
how
I'll
to.
let them out free.
Fully
Yeah.
black,
Alright.
white, and gray spotted swatched.
Will do. We can handle it.
Alright.
Cool. Thank you. Very
You
much.
wanted to stop for drinks or anything?
Does anybody want an ale? Because I'm getting one.
I would.
I think
join
we need
you
a
in that?
break. We've been on the road for a while.
Could do that.
Broadway?
Butter ale.
And
Thanks.
and
Just say yes.
Whatever the special is, whatever the house special is.
Yes.
This time of year, butter ale for sure.
That's perfect.
it's a better beer.
Let's go.
Anything to eat?
I think
Leave
we're
it.
actually set on food, aren't we?
Oh, we have food for the woods.
Got a bunch of jerky.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm peckish. Do you have like a little tray that you could bring out with like some meats and cheeses and maybe some fruit?
Sure. Charcuterie board?
Yes.
Yeah. If you want.
Butterbeer and charcuterie, man. Let's go.
That sounds amazing.
Millennials.
What
Yeah,
a
let's do
life.
it.
I love it here.
Let's do it.
All right. This table over there in the corner should be fine.
And your name was?
My name's Lorwyn.
Lorwyn. Pleasure to meet you.
Same.
Walk over to the table.
All right. She walks over to an employee who she sends out to deal with the horses, get them stabled. You guys take a seat. After a little while, she comes back out with a platter, large platter, 5 of these kind of golden-looking, froth-topped drinks, and a charcuterie board, and a small bowl with these balls. They look like little brownish fried balls. Sets it all down for you.
Oh, dude, I'm excited.
Are they
Given
pretzels?
given how much you all provided in staying here, I thought I'd throw these in. These are our specialty, adder balls. Spicy though.
What's in them?
You have to find out. Unless you're
I'm
allergic to shellfish.
No.
Any allergies?
No, I'm good.
I'm gonna pass. But
Roll-
thank you.
Roll
Appreciate
for
it.
allergies.
Dude, I'm in. Let's go.
Is it hot?
It is hot. They're steaming, and
Let's
there's a
split it.
little bowl or a little dish of a sauce next to it. It looks like this sort of creamy reddish white sauce.
Oh,
I'm gonna-
shit, no, I'm
split the corner like a hot pocket and just blow in it like. Thank you. Yeah.
I'm in.
Of course.
I'm gonna do the same. Yeah.
Are they good?
Yeah. I'll tear
Well, it's up
those.
to you whether
It's
they're
really
good. What they are they're these balls of mashed up crab and crawfish.
God damn it! I'm
With
so
some celery and
hungry.
some parsley and these like Cajun tasting spices. Obviously, there's no
Oh
Cajun
my
here,
god.
This
Matt,
sounds so
battered,
good.
fried, and then the sauce is like this sort of spicy ranch cream sauce.
Oh my
you
gosh.
are speaking to me.
I want this so
We need an
bad.
Aanthara cookbook at the end of this campaign. I
I've already
swear.
told him if we ever do a live session, I'm trying to make some of these things. Like, it's just gonna happen.
Perfect.
Write them
I
down.
just want crab. Why is the world so cruel?
IRL, I am allergic to shellfish, but she's not. So she's gonna enjoy them.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yes.
And the sauce is spicy. It's got quite a kick to it.
Mm.
I don't even care of it.
I have fruit snacks. What am I doing?
Yeah, I'm munching.
What's on the charcuterie board?
Cheeses, quite a few different kinds of cheeses actually, and some that look very foreign to you, especially Brightwing, most likely. Probably not as much to Faye.
Dude,
Mainly Faye.
Yes.
And nuts. And some olives probably.
I'm munching. I'm avoiding the olives.
I say the Brightwing takes the charcuterie for avoids the meat, but does taste the crab and shrimp.
Mm-hmm. The adder balls.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the drink is mostly what you would expect. It kind of tastes like cream soda with this like buttery caramely flavor, and then a hint of rum, and it is very cold.
Oh,
Wow.
damn.
God, that sounds so freaking good, man.
Doesn't it though?
Ugh.
Oh, I want to go get a butterbeer.
You asshole, Matt.
Gotta go get a glitch.
Who needs
now.
monsters when you have delicious food?
Yeah.
Food wars right now.
God damn it.
Is it sweet? I'm assuming it's sweet.
The drink?
Yeah.
Yes, it's very sweet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brightwing loves it. Brightwing loves
the-
sweet things, so she's
The
enjoying it a
caramely
lot.
cream soda-y stuff is definitely sweet, but the rum
Is the
is
rum
a bite.
hitting Brightwing at all?
Please,
I
God,
don't know.
say yes.
How much
I
have you drunk in
need
your life, Brightwing?
Ooh, that's like a...
Hey,
Did
Imagine
you drink
there's
in
not-
Proward?
She had some scumble.
I had some scumble.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
A sip or a like
Or
tankard?
like a glass.
Well, she
I
drank
don't
a
think I
lot in
finished the
small amounts.
tankard.
In pints?
They come in pints.
Like a pint? Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't think alcohol is foreign to her. I don't think she partake in it much. But I don't think it's a foreign concept in her culture. Definitely not something like this before. and
No,
definitely not
it's definitely
heavy
it's not a
liquors.
foreign concept to you. But if you haven't drunk much, there's a surprisingly decent amount of rum in this drink that's masked pretty well by what is mixed in with it. So one could get drunk on these and probably have a pretty bad hangover the next day pretty easily.
Okay, I think she would like the sweetness and probably not realize of the rum
Okay.
in it.
All right.
Yeah. that's what I
One,
was
I'm
wondering.
not going to make you roll. We'll see if anything happens beyond that.
Okay.
And I will say, maybe 10, 15 minutes into this while you guys are snacking and drinking, the tavern hand that you saw her send out to the horses comes back, and she's kind of at a table a few tables away from you, and then he kind of gets her attention. She walks over to him, sort of near the side where there's not a lot of people, but Brightwing and... Does anyone else have a passive perception above 14? 14 or higher?
I have a 13, Matt.
Ooh.
God save.
Okay, Brightwing, roll a
I'm
perception
gonna
check.
eat this fruit
Me.
bar. Feel better. Fucking hungry.
I rolled this one. Ooh, that's a natural 19. Good choice of the die.
That's the bright wing perception
That's
check
the
we were
Brian
expecting.
perception. 26.
Wow. Okay. You hear pretty clearly, despite the fact that it seems he's
Sorry.
trying to be a little hush hush. He says to her, I just heard back. The kids still haven't been by. I'm starting to get a little worried. And then they both walk off. Lorwyn seems to have a bit of a concerned look on her face. She walks off.
Interesting. Would you want to excuse me for a second?
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing. Yet.
Insight check?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I meant. Like.
Is it something with the horses?
13.
I rolled a 19.
Okay. Brightwing, roll a d20. I don't think you're. Well, you very clearly said something that you. Well, not really. You don't know if something's up exactly. Roll a d20.
Natural 20.
Oh. Okay. It's kind of general Brightwing vibes. Not too sure. It's hard to read her.
All right. Well, don't be too long. Your ale's gonna get warm.
Don't fall in.
I mean, where?
Don't worry about it.
This is Take care of your business.
Alright. And she'll go find Laidwin? Is that what it was?
Lorwyn.
Lordwin.
Mm-hmm. She's behind the bar.
Excuse me, Miss Norway?
Yeah, of
Was
course.
it?
Yeah, hello. Can I get you something?
No, the food is great, but I don't mean to be rude. I overheard, something about children? Is everything alright?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Yeah, it's yeah. Don't worry yourself. Should be okay.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah. There's a. She's gonna roll an insight check. Wow. There's a couple of girls, twin halfling girls. They come around here every once in a while to perform. They do these little bits of, illusion for patrons, and I usually give them a meal and a place to sleep. They haven't been by for a couple days now, and that's odd for them. So, just a little concerned, I guess.
How, old are they?
Well, I don't know. They're orphans, so. But I would guess somewhere between 7 and 9, I suppose. Halflings, blonde. Both of them wear pigtails most of the time. Freckles, baby blue eyes. They're just adorable. The patrons love the tricks.
Their magic abilities.
Well, you know, magic. They do tricks and people pretend to believe them. Although, in honesty, they're very good. I've never really caught anything. And I don't know where they would have learned it. But, I mean, it's obviously not real magic. That's
Not real.
silly. I mean, no? Is that... I don't think so. That would be very odd.
For children that young?
And in this area, we don't get that a lot. I think they're just parlor tricks. I never asked.
Alright. I don't mean to pry, it's just...
Oh no, you
Just
seem kind-hearted. I don't know what there is to be done. if they're gone a little longer, I may ask someone, but it's not like I can talk to their parents or set on a missing persons report. Who's gonna look for them?
Do you
They're
know where they
orphans.
normally are when they're not here?
No, they go about town. As far as I know, I don't follow them. They just usually come back here at least every other night, if not every night. It's been a while.
How long?
Oh, just a couple days, but that's a while for them to be gone.
Alright. Well, thank you for telling me. Again, the food is very, very good. I've never tasted fried crab. Is it?
It is, yeah, crab and crawfish, from the docks.
Interesting. We've had crab. I don't believe I've ever had crawfish before.
Well, if you haven't been to Sawfield Lake or the rivers on either side of it, you probably haven't. They're not that common in Kathos. It's one of our specialties here.
Not a very big meat person, but he seems to be into me. Again, sorry to disturb.
Oh, no, of course, of course. I'm sorry to worry you if it causes you any worry. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yes, I hope that it resolves. And she'll awkwardly walk away because she doesn't know how to.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm sitting. I'll sit back down.
Are you okay, Brightwing?
I am concerned.
What's up?
I fear what happened in Flower may have happened here, but I don't really have evidence to say so.
Okay, what specifically in Proudwood? Because there's a lot that happened there.
The children were taken, we assume, because they had magical abilities. And apparently there are twin girls who seem to do parlor tricks that have been missing for the past couple days, which is out of the ordinary for them.
Interesting.
Well, we'll keep our ear to the ground. Perhaps we may run into, you found the previous little, the wee beasties out in the forest, right?
Well,
In a very deep cave.
yeah,
It took quite a while to find them.
I'm quite sure if we didn't have them to follow in the first place, we wouldn't have found them. We had a lot of help.
Yeah, well, perhaps if we see the same signs again, we could investigate.
I am just concerned that they may have been a bit more quiet with it since Flower did not go the way I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
If this is the similar route.
Are there any parents we can talk to? Anybody we can ask about them?
Fortunately, no, they are orphans.
Damn.
Orphans.
That
They
means
don't have
nobody's
any-
going to be looking for them.
Yeah. Damn.
Shit. All right. Well, I guess
That's
that's
something
going
else
to
we
be.
can ask about.
Yeah.
They said that they hang around town, but they normally stay here the night. Or every other night.
Wonder where they go the other nights.
They make do. Probably. They've got the spots around town, I'm sure.
There's plenty of hiding spots. There's always someplace secret that no one else knows about.
Exactly.
Well, maybe there's a friendly baker that gives them food that may know a little bit more about them or something.
Or
Probably
on the
down by the-
docks.
By the
On the
docks
docks.
would be a much better chance.
We need to go to the Driftwolf Quarter anyway.
Yeah, so far I've got bags, a tent, bedroll, rations perhaps, or any whatever you guys might need.
I would ask if we could get rations that was not jerky.
I was gonna ask, is there something specific you'd want to be eating?
I just don't like meat. Personally.
That's totally fine. We just
We
want to
could
make sure
probably
you're
find-
actually able to eat.
Find some flatbreads and like cheese and dried fruit and things like that. Good like
Yeah.
road snacks.
But
That's
just
Actually-
north of Proward, there's got to be
Favorable.
something, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you eat fish?
Yes.
Maybe we could
Oh.
find some dried fish down at the wharf.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
We
some
live
protein.
by the
Yeah.
ocean, part of it, so we have a steady supply of fish. But most of my people do like meat. I just don't very much prefer it after my shifting.
Yep. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So,
We will accommodate, because that's what we do.
So some
Alright.
kind of a bakery or ration or something, probably within the Stonewalk Quarter. That's what Fennel said was the most of the shops were in that area.
mhm.
Karistea's Pride was where we could find gear, and then Bernadette's Baubles was down on the Driftwolf Quarter.
It was Bernadette's for details of the sampling, right?
Yeah, and we may be able to inquire today as to whether or not she may be able to extract the oil from the leaves before we just show up with, however much we can find. And then she mentioned that old guy Jed, who is also down by the docks.
He might be the good contact if we're trying to find more about the children.
Mm. Mm.
Be a good idea, I think.
If you guys could also help while we're out, I might be looking for some kind of any place that sells like secondhand stuff, or I don't know. I'm not sure where I would find what I need, but anything that looks like it might have things that are a bit off the wall.
Mhm.
Anything in particular?
I have this loot, and it is wonderful, but it is very large. So I was thinking of something a little bit more compact that would be easier to pull out in situationally, like a flute or something. Pipe.
Okay. Yeah. Keep an eye out. General store might have something too.
Yeah,
maybe.
Piercer's
looking-
Pride or the Baubles, maybe?
usually I've got better luck with finding things that have a bit better sound quality at those secondhand stores.
Yeah.
True.
That makes sense. Yeah, we can ask around. Can't hurt.
Okay, so
Make an
what
afternoon of
what
it.
all is wanting to be bought? Give me the list.
We want a tent. I want a tent.
10.
Oh, hold on. I gotta
need
look
a
at my
bedroll.
spell 1 second. I gotta look at my spells.
I'll-
see if
I'll
any
type down the
spell
list. Hold on.
components.
Yeah.
Also,
Tent,
I would
bedroll.
like some rope,
Second.
like just regular. I realized that I picked the wrong adventurers
the wrong
pack.
pack.
Oh.
Yeah, well, no, I picked what I wanted, but
Yeah.
it was
And
easy.
So
Easier to
tent,
find other things.
bedroll, what else?
Rope.
Rope.
Rope. Okay.
Rations like flatbread.
Rations.
um,
Non-meat rations. Oh, burlap sacks, like some kind of
Vegetarian
bags that we could tie off to
rations,
put the leaves in.
burlap sacks. Okay.
What about like a compass or anything like that? Or do you guys feel like does anyone have?
I've got a standard on that. You don't have to worry.
Mm-hmm.
I need a book that's worth at least 25 gold.
I know that's
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
wonder
a
what-
what that's worth?
I wonder what spell that is.
A what that's worth at least 25 gold? I'm sorry.
Book.
A book
book.
that's worth at least 25 gold.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be like, you heard it
Okay.
right, Sean. A
I
book.
don't know. Would we ever need consensual flame?
Consensual
I'm sorry, did you say
flame?
consensual flame?
I hope the flame is consensual, if we're being honest.
Consensual flame.
Oh. Continual flame?
Continual?
I was like, what is
Oh
happening?
boy.
It is
Listen,
10:43.
I played a D&D session right before this.
Yep. We knew this was gonna happen.
The blaze. Just like a little fire.
In some place.
I don't know if we'll need that, but I need 50 ruby dust if we do.
I need a snake's
We're in the middle
tongue.
of fucking nowhere, but yeah, let's find some ruby dust.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if Fennel would have a snake's tongue.
Probably.
I will say, based off the number of things you guys need and the uniqueness of some of what you need, The people you talk to in town in the Stonewalk Quarter point you to Bernadette's Baubles and
The general
Piercer's
store.
Pride. Yeah, both of which are on the docks. They're like the two big places to find stuff like that.
Hmm. We head to the docks.
But I guess, yep, we
Yeah,
head
so
Alright.
actually, as we head to the docks, I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'm scanning for any of my people
Okay.
because I figure there could be some.
Roll a perception check. Just to have it.
I believe that is an 18.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You guys make your way through the rest of the Stonewalk Quarter towards the dotted hills, which you were told the Drift Wharf Quarter is behind, though you can't see it yet. And as you leave the Stonewalk Quarter, this sort of paved, not paved, but stone, cobblestoned area of town, you reach these hills, and there are clear paths marked with fences and little fence posts between all these hills at ground level, and these hills rise up steeply and quickly 50, 60 feet easily. Some of them are very tall, and they are scattered throughout. But there's this kind of winding path that goes between, and every once in a while you'll see like a little arrow that has the name of some family's farm that appears to be that way, or up on that hill. But eventually, after maybe half-hour walk, you turn a bend around one more big hill, and you see a it's basically a long series of docks, maybe 200 to 300 yards long, wide along the side of this river, and you see the river now. The lake, actually. The river comes out of the lake on either side, but you see this lake, huge lake. You can't even see the other side right now. But a couple hundred yards of these side-by-side docks jutting out into this lake with what appears to be basically a whole town set on them. They're very wide and they're all butted up next to each other, and so there are buildings and what look like shops and even some homes. And then as you get closer, you see that it's actually multi-tiered, and there's another level of these below this top one and another level below that one. 3 levels, few hundred yards wide, going out maybe 50 to 100 yards.
Down?
There are levels down below, and there appear to be there's some ladders, and then there appear to be some spots with some winch setups that pull things up and down for moving larger equipment, some stairs that curve down in various parts. It's this very ramshackle, kind of like you maybe would imagine sort of a pirate town to be, where things are like built up on each other, and there's all these weird shacks, and everything's made out of wood. It looks like that. Huge, enough to be basically as large as a Stonewalk Quarter, a whole quarter of this city, basically. And it is sprawled out onto this lake in front of you. Do you want to look for the Bernadette's Baubles or Piercer's Pride first?
So we just start looking and pop into whichever one we see first.
All right, fair enough. You would get to Piercer's Pride first. So you see this large general store kind of early on to one of the docks in the center. It looks like it's put here for a reason, to capture the people who are walking in for the first time. It says Piercer's Pride General Store, which all of you know, well, some of you, everyone but Brightwing knows to be a city in South Kathos, by the way. Kind of on the border where it meets.
I would say,
Sildari.
as well as we kind of get to the docks and everything kind of becomes visible, there's some visible disdain on Eowyn's face, just looking
Okay.
over everything.
Okay. But you do reach this shop, and it has a bell on the door.
Oh, fuck.
You step in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ding 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 ding. It rings. And you don't see anyone initially. It's pretty large, and then maybe 6 seconds later, just popping barely over this desk at the far end of the store, you see a mousefolk man. Looks to be middle-aged, maybe late 30s, early 40s, light gray fur, big brown eyes, large mouse ears that are poking out of this leather coif-like hat that has long flaps that hang down on either side, and a set of small spectacles that are on the tip of a large whiskered nose, basic brown tunic and pants, and little leather bracers on his wrists. Oh, hello there! You need something? Are you looking to buy something?
It had
Yeah,
to
we
be.
just need some regular supplies, I think. Looking for like a tent and a bedroll, some.
A tent? He starts running around the shop as soon as you start talking. A tent? A bedroll? Alright?
What,
Couple
some
of
burlap sacks?
Burlap sacks. How many burlap sacks you need?
5?
couple
That's a
empty oil
respectable amount,
flasks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Empty oil flasks. Wow, you guys just need everything, don't you? Alright,
Yeah.
empty oil flasks. Bedroll, got that. Okay. Uh-huh. How many oil flasks?
Call it 5.
5 of those as well.
5. Alright. Did you say rope?
Yeah.
Rope. Alright. Okay. Anything else?
Have you got anything out of the ordinary?
Don't really know what you mean by that. I've just got normal things, I suppose. If you want out of the ordinary, it's Bernadette's. Down a level, and like, 2 docks over, I think.
Oh, great, thanks.
And how much for privileged information?
He stops his running for a second, pulls his spectacles down his nose a little bit, looks over them at you. Don't really know what you mean, stranger, but I guess you can ask your questions and I'll answer what I can answer.
It's more fun to
Why
be
do you
guide,
have
I
a
think.
bell on your door?
What do you mean, why do I have a bell on my door? So I know when people come in. Otherwise, I would have been in the back when you came in, never would have come out here, and I'm not easy to see. He says as he's continuing to run and gather things, and you can't see him for most of this because he's so small and disappearing behind shelves.
It's not for music.
No! Do you need something for music?
Yeah, actually.
Yes.
What do you need? don't have much. Like a drum, maybe.
Have you a drum?
Maybe I shouldn't have said that without checking. 1 second! He disappears into the back for a little bit.
Too real.
So they're just for to know if you come in. That seems not very. Why?
Well, Brightwing, sometimes people that run these shops do it by themselves, and they
Would
can't
this
always
work?
be.
And you see over the desk just the hands and a small, very, like, it looks more like a toy drum than an actual drum, just being held up by these 2 paw hands, mouse hand
You know what?
paws.
If I don't find something I like better, I'll return and purchase that from you. For right now, let's put it aside.
On layover!
Perfect.
Puts it down, goes back to running. Was that all? Anything else you needed?
Have
What
you any
about-
rations that don't contain meat?
Vegetarian rations. Sure, I suppose we have some of that. Like, I mean, I could just... let me cobble something together. Hold on.
And any odd trinket that might have a weird symbol on it.
Huh? He
Never
pokes his
mind.
head around from the door where he was looking to get some odd trinket.
Yeah, something maybe somebody dropped off, sold. Has been
Oh.
lying around a while.
I mean, that may as well be the subtitle of Bernadette's Bubbles, so that's probably where you want to go. Things that people have dropped off and don't want anymore. Odd trinkets and things. Bernadette's.
Glad to
Obsessed.
hear that you two have such a great professional relationship.
She sends people up here for the good stuff. I send them down there for the weird stuff.
Hmm.
I didn't say bad stuff, so there's
Didn't
improvement.
say bad stuff.
Like
All
so.
right. He comes back to the desk. He's built a pile now, and then climbs up onto a stool so that he's actually at a normal height where he can see over the counter. All right, that's 2 for the 3, 6, 9. That's gonna be 4 gold
I got
for
it.
all of that.
Are you sure?
Just give him 5. Of course. I haven't paid for much. I can pull my weight.
I'm gonna.
Lot-
Are the
lot of this
rations
for
in
me
that
anyway.
mix for break?
Oh, the rations! I forgot.
Oh.
Shit.
I
Runs
gave him
off.
5.
I didn't include the rations. Hold on. You distracted me with the question about the weird. Okay. Another like 3 minutes goes by. How many did you want?
5 days?
like- Yeah.
Enough for a week.
5 days for one person,
Yes.
or for 5 persons?
One person.
One person, 5 days. All right. Then she comes back out with like these sort of paper wrapped little piles of what you assume are vegetables. That'll
What
be
we
an extra
assume
1,
are
2, 3,
vegetables.
Oh, we assume.
5, another 5 silver. So what were we at before?
4
4
gold.
4 gold. 4 gold, 5 silver then.
I will like pat again the 5 gold on the counter.
Oh. All right. And he reaches down into what appears to be a little chest underneath, pulls out 5 silver, puts it back.
I'll start grabbing this stuff and just leave the 5 silver.
Okay.
We tip well in this town.
Anything else you needed?
Well, I know
Gotta
you're
make a good
incredibly
break.
quick and looking to get around fast, but have you any information about 2 orphan halflings that have been going around town
Halflings.
Brightwing, do you
panhandling?
have a
Almost.
description of them?
Can't say that I do. No, sorry.
Insight check.
Sure, roll an insight check.
Yeah.
Can we pass Brightwing the ration so she can check if that's what she's wanting?
That was not a good insight check.
Oh no.
Yeah, 14.
13.
13.
Yeah.
He seems like a friendly little mouse who owns a general store and doesn't get involved in other things too much. So,
Okay.
as far as you know,
This
he's being
mouse is
truthful.
on the up and up.
Are you new to town, by the way?
What gave us away?
Well, pretty much everything. But I see a lot of newcomers, so I know the look. You probably get, other people might not notice. Well, if you want to stop by any other time, feel free. Name's Matthias. Matthias Fingal.
Nice.
Nice. Why
Good
did
luck
you
with
name it?
Bernadette. Oh,
May I ask you a question?
uh-huh.
I'm fascinated by the name of your shop. How did you?
Perseus Pride. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm from there.
Really?
I grew up there, yeah. Me and my
Bit of
family.
away from home.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I wanted something new. Took off. Went looking for a while. Ended up here. And started this. My dad runs Perseus Pride in Pierce here, so now I run Perseus Pride here.
Love that. Love that for you.
Me too.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. Well,
Cool.
if we find ourselves in need of anything extraordinarily ordinary, we will be back.
Sounds good. Like I said, good luck with Bernadette.
Do you need us to ring the bell to know we are leaving?
I'll hear when you leave. Yeah, that's how it works. Safe travels!
Hmm.
So, Brightwing, sometimes the shop owners, work in the stores by themselves, and they have to do things in the back room, like inventory and ding, 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 as we're walking out. Like things that they can't be on the sales floor at all times. And the bell is to notify them when someone comes in. It helps prevent theft. Not everyone is as honest as we are.
They can't hear it when someone comes in without the bell.
Well, he might with his ears, but not everyone can.
That's very odd. We don't use that because we just know when someone is there.
Surely you can't be all-knowing.
No, it's just we have a... Like how I knew some things people are untruthful because we don't really lie to each other because it's hard to lie to each other.
Well, some people are
No.
good at lying. Some people are good at detecting a lie, and normal, ordinary people are kind of just in the middle.
I see.
So that's how normal, ordinary people protect themselves.
Also, a lot of people in the larger portions of the world may not necessarily care about each other enough for their well-being.
Yes.
It's a very fend for yourself kind of area. Just because you're in a
Okay.
town doesn't mean you're of the community.
Yeah. Trust is,
Hard to come by.
yeah. It really depends on where you go. Proward is different. Proward is a whole community. But I'm sure you can find people there that don't really trust everybody.
That's very sad.
It is. That is very true. But unfortunately, it is more common than uncommon. So,
I'm sorry, we can keep going.
I assumed we were walking and talking.
Yes, you are walking and talking.
Yep.
I don't mean to be an infant in this.
Oh, not at all. There's many others that act like babies on the regular.
If we were to go to your home, we would be equally unaccustomed to the culture.
exactly.
There's no fault in not knowing something. The fault comes with not being willing to learn and to adapt.
A big thing is that you have the respect to understand that there's a difference and you actually care what others would think about in the situation. There's a lot that don't care at all and go about their own accord.
And they're rude.
Arrogant.
Shitheads.
Okay.
Yes.
They don't sound like they would be very pleasant. No.
No.
Well, to the Bernadette's bubbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's go.
You guys make your way down, following Matthias's instruction, down a dock, which you find a set of stairs to do. And by the way, especially as you get lower, the smell is like when you're on a pier and everyone's fishing. Well, I guess not everyone knows this, but it is fishy as hell.
Mm-hmm.
You got the fish, you got the
Yep.
water smell, you
Yep.
got the freaking bait
Musty,
smell. Yeah, all
watery
the-
wood smells.
How
Yep.
You
similar
know-
is this to from home?
Not.
It's not okay, because I know we have an ocean and we fish, but I don't know how similar.
I think a lake would have a different smell, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. And
There's
it's
no
Okay.
salt.
and you guys
think
wouldn't
yeah.
like have the fish sitting in places for very long.
No, we
and
would.
this is a bit more of that. So
Yeah.
people, the kind of people who live here, the smell is like home to them, but to anyone else, it's not great.
Yeah, you know what? I think we have to stay on the level above. You all can take care of this. Yeah. Let me know when you're done. We
You
start
need
walking
anything?
back.
Okay. All right.
I guess.
You guys
Alright.
make it down eventually and do see a rickety store with the sign Bernadette's Baubles painted over it in what looks like handwriting. And it's not that good of handwriting. It's not like a nicely carved sign or anything like that. And there's kind of this like soft greenish yellow glow coming from inside. You head in?
Mm.
Okay. Another bell.
That's what I was saying.
Although this one is the Piercer's Pride one was like your nice ding-a-ling-ling. This is like a weird sort of half gong sound. And you see there's like these rows of shelves with things on them, and
I'm
poking
gonna
out
say
from
that
behind.
Brightwing goes first and opens the door really fast,
Okay.
so it makes like a bigger noise.
Yep, which it certainly does. And poking around one of these shelves, you see a tabaxi, kind of a orange tabby cat sort of
Oh, yeah,
furred
let's
tabaxi.
go.
Looks in her late 60s, probably pretty old. Kind of patchy fur, golden eyes, one ear that's straight up, and the other one is kind of folded over awkwardly. And she's wearing these baggy white robes. Is there something I can help you with? Speak up!
Certainly hope so.
Are you Bernadette?
Who else would I be? Yes, I'm Bernadette. What do you need?
Something
Or you just-
interesting.
Oh, that's my favorite answer. All right, anything specific or just fun?
Do you have
Anything
two
you have that's
platinum
new.
rings?
Platinum rings?
Yes.
Hmm.
Seems possible. I have a lot of things. I'll check. Anybody else? Any requests?
Anything new to the shop would be great.
Okay. You?
Music. Anything that could
Music.
make me...
Ah. A musician, are you?
Yeah. Modestly.
All right. She heads around behind this counter, and then behind the counter, out in the front are kind of these shelves, and there's various super random looking knickknacks on it, like thrift store times 10. But then behind her, when she stands at the desk, you see these rows, kind of like in... There's a lot of Harry Potter references today. Ollivanders, where there's all the
little
wands in the
nooks.
wall. There's all these
Yeah.
little drawers that are set in various rows of shelves behind her. All right, music specifically, and then 2 platinum rings. Let me look for those first. The rest of you, I'll find something fun. For Brian and Jess, roll me a d20, each of you.
16.
Okay, and then...
I'm 19.
Okay, both of you pick a number between 1 and 219.
What
Jesus
the
Christ.
fuck?
Matt,
seven-
I
You
want
can roll to
169.
guide yourself if you want. 169, okay, and
I'm
Brian?
gonna take 73.
73.
That's so close to my favorite number, which is 72.
Hey, let's go.
Okay. Hold one moment, please.
You have the entire compendium of her.
And 169.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
I'm surprised.
All right.
I want to see
Okay.
what kind of meme shit I
It
can
takes her a good, like, probably 6 or 7 minutes before she comes back. All right. For you, and she looks Brightwing, I have 3 platinum rings. They're on a deal, 3 for 2. And she puts these 3 rings on the counter, silvery-looking rings.
I'm guessing they're gonna end up being like platinum.
For you, and she looks at Faye, and she pulls out a flute that is bleached white bone.
Whoa.
And you can't be sure how well it might play, but it looks like some creature's femur bleached and then carved into a bone or into a flute.
Wow.
This was played by a very famous bard from this area.
May
Holds
I
it out to you.
Spooky flute.
give it a test run?
Sure.
I'll just start playing a little tune.
Okay, roll a
That's
performance check.
Na 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 na. Na, na, na. With proficiency, right?
If you have proficiency in performance, yeah.
With flute, I do. I don't know how to tell. So do I? Because my regular performance doesn't have my proficiency added. So that it's in there with half proficiency. Would it
Okay.
be charisma?
Proficient
Would it be
with
charisma
it.
plus
So add-
proficiency?
Yeah. Add charisma plus proficiency.
The natural 18. So it's a
Ooh-wee.
24.
Spooky
Okay.
flute doing good work.
It is a slightly more hollowy, haunty sort of sound than your typical very basic flute, but plays pretty decently well, actually. Shuts the 3 rings on the counter for Brightwing. Ah, for you, Mr. Horned One. And she holds up this small purplish gem. If you put this to your forehead, it will adhere there for a time, and you will be able to see other places.
Interesting.
You have to connect with it first, of course, but...
Okay.
And for you... And she turns to Eclipse and holds out this bag. It just looks like sort of a linen bag.
Okay.
Nothing particularly interesting about it. If you put your clothes in here, an hour later, they come out perfectly clean.
Okay.
Magic. So,
I'm interested.
who's interested in buying?
How much for the bag?
The bag. 7 gold.
Yeah, I
And
put that down.
for this,
Yeah.
For the gem, 15.
it's like a gamble.
I put down my 7.
Put down 15.
How about for this?
For the flute, it's one of my nicest pieces.
It's okay.
I'll say 14 gold. Which is a discount. Normally it would be 19, but it just seems to fit you. And you played it so well. I like my items to have good owners.
I would take very good care of it, I promise.
I'm sure. And you, miss?
Yes. We
How much?
trade, yes.
Well, you'd better have quite the lucrative something to trade for 3 platinum rings. Going price would be 27 gold for all 3. But
Look at
again,
them
that's
and
a 3 for 2.
ascertain. Could I look at these? Are they really platinum?
I'm assuming you don't have any proficiencies in anything related to this, like a jeweler's kit or anything.
I have an
doesn't-
lifetime of experience.
You know what? Technically, you would
Is it
have half a
Jasmine?
proficiency in it. Wait, is it just skills, technically? It's just skills.
Skills, yeah, it's not
Okay.
it's not tools.
I will say you can roll a intelligence check with disadvantage.
Could I pick one up as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And I am going to slyly flip something into my hand to use to compare.
Okay.
don't have
I
any
will
idea.
say, I will say, Yasnib, you can roll an intelligence check straight.
Alright.
Well, tell me, are you gonna? I think I know. Yeah, roll it straight.
Roll it straight.
I mean, I could pull out a platinum coin and look at the two together.
Hi, honey.
17 for me.
17. You get a feeling that it may be like platinum encased, but just based off weight comparison and like the way you flick it and the ring it gives, not quite sure if they're all platinum.
Doesn't seem to be one piece, so to say.
Doesn't seem to be one piece. Whatever do you mean?
The core might be a different material, is what I say.
She's going to roll an insight check. Roll a persuasion check.
Guidance.
You don't know this is happening.
It's fine.
22.
Wow, okay.
Oh, go warlocks.
Gotta say, there's so much charisma in this party.
Well, not for you then.
Hmm.
Tries to snatch them back. Do you try to keep her from snatching it back?
Nope.
Okay, she snatches them back.
Ayo. Alright.
If you're looking for pure platinum, then it's not those, unfortunately.
Oh. Yes, it does need to be pure.
Hoity-toity, I see. Fine. No platinum rings. What about the rest of you?
Benedict, would you happen to have a snake's tongue?
A snake's tongue. What a fascinating request. She turns, goes, pulls open a few drawers, eventually comes back with a small leather pouch, opens the pouch, and it's got like probably 24 tongues in it of various creatures. You can't really tell what's what, except that a few in the corner are clearly reptilian because they're forked and small. Take your pick. A silver each.
Brightwing, would you know a snake's tongue to see it?
Yes, I would.
Roll a nature check, Brightwing.
Okay. It's a natural 20.
Oh my heavens. You see two... it's pretty hard to tell. These are tongues that have been in a pouch of leather for a while. They're not freshly off these creatures. But there's a few that are definitely either snake or lizard or some kind of reptile. Probably like 4 or 5 that fall into that category. I wouldn't say you can't tell the difference between snake and lizard, but you can tell that there's definitely, among those 5, some of them are probably snake and some are probably lizard.
With a 27 nature check?
Yeah. It's a tongue that's been drying out for who knows how long in this piece of leather.
True. These are the reptilian ones at least.
Right. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Is there a black one?
I'll say one is darkened enough to almost look black.
Sure, I'll grab that one.
Okay.
Mr.
You're
Fingal.
so edgy.
Mr. Fingal upstairs,
Anesthetic.
he said that there were some colorful people that would normally drop off knickknacks, new things here and there. You ever happen to get any from two young halfling orphans?
Ah, the twins. Yes. Freckle and Blue is how they go by. I don't think that's their real names.
Freckle and Blue.
I see them every once in a while, yes.
You remember
They
the
find all
last
kinds
time?
of interesting things. The last time? Oh, must have been a week and a half, 2 weeks perhaps. It's not often I see them.
Do you happen to know what the last thing they brought in was?
I want to say it was like a little top or something that they thought was cool. Which, some people find that interesting. Can't ever be sure.
Alright.
Do you have any potions or tonics?
Possibly. What were you looking for? Something specific?
I'm just curious to see what you would have.
Healing.
Healing. Perhaps. I might have some poisons or some antidotes for poisons. Would you be interested in any of that?
Would you sell the recipe for an antidote?
Probably not. I'll look for some potions, though. She disappears after eyeing you very closely for a while. Comes back with a small red vial. Looks like what you've seen healing potions look like before. I do have one. It's my last one, which means the price is going to be high. We'll call it 65 gold. But you're not going to find another one in here. Or probably in the neighboring towns.
Right. Well, I don't. I'm sorry. I will pass. Was that right? Was that the right?
Mhm.
Okay. I will pass the opportunity.
Fair enough. Everyone else have what they want?
Would you have perhaps like a long pouch or something for storage, safety?
For the flute?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure I could find something. Scuttles off for a bit, comes back with a what looks to be a pouch made for a flute out of snakeskin.
Dude, you are
Yeah.
decked out.
Kind of
Yeah.
like a silvery, like a dark silvery sort of color to the scales.
Immaculate. I love it. What would be my total with these 3 items?
Oh, you have, what is it? It's a flute? What else did you get?
A tongue.
A tongue! Oh, you're very snake themed today.
It's your shop.
For silver and we'll call it 23 gold. The pouch
How much is
very
the
fine.
pouch?
Very fine.
All right, 23 gold.
Okay. Anybody else need anything else?
I think that's all I need.
A book worth 25 gold?
Do you ask her for a book?
Yeah, I look for a book.
What kind of book? What do you want it on?
Oh, do you have any history books? I don't very much know the history of this land very much.
History books? You don't really seem like the history type.
I'm not very much, but I would like to know more.
Let me see what I have. Disappears. Roll a d4 for me.
Oh gosh, Oogie. Let's do it here. D4. 2.
2. Okay. She comes back eventually. Holds out what looks to be a decently old book, like pretty tattered hardcover binding, and holds it out to you. Kind of like flips it and holds it towards you, and scrawled on the front you see Annals of the Elders. A very old book on a very old time. Normally would be 12 gold, but I'll sell to you for 9 because I like you. With your
alright.
passive insight, you can tell she doesn't like you.
Oh.
You don't know why she's offering you this discount, but
Would this qualify for the spell?
possibly.
Okay.
You can't be sure. You don't know.
Okay.
It's a value of the book kind of thing, and how she sells it doesn't necessarily apply. So
Okay.
she may not understand it. It could be worth more, it could be worth less. You might have to try it to find out. Or I'd say if you
Alright.
spent some time with it, like over a long rest, you could figure out, or even over a short rest, you could figure out with your spell casting knowledge whether or not it would work for your spell.
Okay. Alright, thank you.
Of course. Is that all?
I think that'll be all for me.
Brilliant. Well, feel free to stop by any time. Go on now, I have things to do. Shoos you out.
Goodness.
All right, you are back on the middle dock of the Drift Wharf Quarter. What would you like to do?
Shopkeeper does not want you in this door.
Do we see Edwin?
He's up above, so no, not
Yeah,
yet.
he didn't come down at all.
You
Someone
wanted to
can
head
be
up, you certainly could.
dismissive. Right wing.
Yeah, I would go up and look for him. I probably would have actually left when I finished my transaction
Okay.
and just like given you guys a nod and say like I'll meet you outside.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm gonna look for old Ned. Our old
Old
Jed.
Jed?
Old Jed.
Let's
Yes?
go for
Okay.
it, Jed.
Are you gonna ask, or are you just gonna look for someone who looks old?
I'm gonna look for the oldest dude here.
Okay. Roll a perception. You know what? Roll an investigation check, actually.
Let's
Thank
do
you.
it.
I'll join him on this.
Okay. Are you going back up above to find Aegwin during this process?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would have looked for him, but like before they left the shop.
Okay.
That is a 16.
Okay.
Nice.
Brightwing,
Oh, yes.
you said you were aiding, right?
I was aiding.
Okay.
Terrible. My investigation is awful. 4.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, I would say you search around on the middle dock for a bit, eventually head back up. Aegwin, Faye, you find Aegwin, who's up above.
Incidentally, do I happen to
You have
gain
not
anything
seen...
off my perception check?
No, you have not seen
Okay.
anyone,
Cool.
any
Cool.
swords, no. Faye, you find Aegwin, and then eventually the rest of you make your way back up to the top dock. Are you going to try to re-find them, or stay with him for now?
I was just gonna kind of walk up, like wherever you're standing. I'm assuming you're like leaning and watching.
Okay.
Rooting.
I would kind of walk up and lean and watch with him and kind of. You all right?
I really don't like the ocean or like fish or anything like that. So this place sucks.
Yeah. Is it the smell?
It's a lot of things. I've spent my time and it's been more than enough on the open water. I don't need any more of it.
Valid. Spent a bit, not enough to be traumatized.
Yeah, you know where Perseus
Mhm.
went up to Viliad, all the way from there. Basically went around the Ethesian Peninsula, went into the bay. It sucked.
Yeah, I mean, I made the trip from Restalius to Viliad back and forth a dozen times. But that's a bit of a shorter trip.
Yeah, a bit.
Well, I'm sorry that repressed memories are coming back to you.
No, it's
If
fine.
you need to get out of here, we can come find you later.
Nah. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. It's usually
Around-
the docks where things start to go wrong.
Hmm.
Around that time,
Dogs?
you see dogs or dogs?
Yes.
Oh no!
You see the rest of your group coming up from another stairwell, kind of farther down the dock, and then coming back towards you. And as they do, Yasnip, you see a restaurant on the way back that smells incredible, called the Kick and Craw. And you've seen now, and I haven't mentioned this, but I will mention it now. You have seen over the past 15-20 minutes, all of you, probably more turtles in just the last 20 minutes than you've seen in the rest of your life. It seems like this town, this dock town, is largely run or lived in by turtles. And outside of this Kick and Craw, you see one that at the very least looks very old. You don't know. I mean, you've seen several old-looking turtles, but this one looks extremely old. You see this unbelievably wrinkled, greenish brown almost from age, yellowish even skin that is just drooping and wrinkled as far as it can possibly go without falling off his face. This huge brown shell that has moss growing on it, and little barnacles even. You can't even see his eyes really because they're lost within this mess of wrinkles. Has a loosely open, tattered brown vest on, no shirt, and what seems to be like a skirt or a kilt of this burlap-like material, and a big floppy straw fisherman's hat. with some fishing net that's kind of coming down in the back like a sun flap, and is smoking an extremely long, thick wooden pipe and just looks to be straight vibing outside this restaurant.
And he's about how far away from the restaurant are we?
You probably see him from about 30, 40 feet away, and he stands out as looking older than most of the other turtles you've seen. And Faye in age when you see them kind of walking towards you, and then notice this guy.
Gonna take a gamble. I'm gonna walk up to him.
Okay.
Old Jed. You old son of a bitch, how you doing today?
He's kind of got his head down, kind of drooping, and his the straw hat's kind of covering his face, and you see the pipe kind of sticking out beyond it, and a little smoke comes up from it. He pulls it out. Do I know you?
No,
Doesn't even look up.
but I've heard of you.
Well, everybody's heard of me, and there aren't many people I don't know.
So maybe we can learn a bit from each other.
He kind of looks up a little bit now. You see his face poke out from under the big hat, though you still can't see his eyes. Blows a smoke ring towards you. Well, you know my name, Old Jed. That's what they call me, at least. What's yours?
Yasnet.
Yasnet. And the rest of your trio?
This would be Eclipse and Brightwing.
Eclipse, Brightwing. Good to meet y'all.
You also.
What can I
lucky.
do you for? What's that now?
Oh, Wati, I'm sorry.
What you sorry for?
I don't know.
He looks back at Yasnip. Is she speaking another language?
It means hello.
Ah. Talili to you too, then.
Really?
That's a swear.
Just offended look.
Takes another huge draw on his pipe.
Fennel said that you'd be the best one to talk to about people in the area.
I'm the best one to talk to about anything in the area.
Know anything of missing children?
Missing children? No. Let me rephrase. I know the people in the area. I don't like to listen to the gossip of the area.
Are you familiar with Freckle and Blue?
Sure, little halfling twins come running around every once in a while.
They do some work on the docks?
Oh, well, I think they've done some work in the kick and crawl before. They're doing their
Oh.
tricks. I never watched, but
Hmm.
seem like cute kids.
Yeah, we've heard a few things. Slight concern, but
Haven't talked to them much. Kids don't really talk to me much. It's a bit of
That's
an
a shame.
age gap.
that's a shame.
I don't get their sayings.
Oh?
Like this Talili over here. Doesn't make much sense to me, but, you know, to each their own, I suppose.
That little bee. Have you had dinner?
It's one,
Have you had lunch?
or thereabouts.
So you haven't
yeah,
had
I've
dinner.
had lunch.
Is a better way to put it, I
No.
suppose.
That's a fair point. Sharp lad.
Well, if you go to the crawl tonight, I'll pay for you.
I can't even say he squints his eyes because there's nothing to squint. But he gives you a look, a up, down, once over. Well, I don't usually say no to free dinner.
Then don't.
I'll be here. I'm almost always here.
I'll let him know that you'll have a plate tonight. Appreciate the
Fair
info.
enough. Of course. Do what I can what I do.
I like that.
been saying it for decades. Hell, it's been centuries at this point.
With that, I'm just gonna acknowledge, if I can see them, Faye and Eowyn, and I'm gonna walk into
You
the
can.
car.
Okay. Okay. It is a bustling restaurant. Looks like everybody in here is wearing some sort of like little white cloth bib or something like that. And there's these long tables, and everybody has got two huge bowls in front of them. One filled with what looks like cooked shrimp, crawfish, various potatoes, sausages, corn, all kinds of things. And then the other one filled with remnants of all that stuff. Every table seems to have the two of these. And it smells like Cajun food.
Hmm.
Hey.
At least that wasn't obvious. Are you trying to get a table? Are you looking around?
No, I'm just looking for somebody that looks like... I'm looking for the manager, okay? Yeah, you know.
Okay,
For someone
fair
in
enough.
charge.
Yep.
I'd like to speak with your manager, please.
Oh, that was. Give me PTSD.
It takes a little bit of time, but eventually you see waddling out towards you at a pretty quick pace from the kitchen a turtle woman, looks to be maybe in her 40s, rather small compared to most of the other turtles you've seen around here, kind of a darker grayish green shell, and thin black cornrows for hair, wearing a light brown dress with these faint floral designs of dark brown kind of, and carrying a large wooden paddle, like a little bit taller than her. Well, hello there. Can I help you with something?
Yes, two things, actually.
Sure.
Well, one, I have to put a payment down. Old Jed's normal, as usual.
You're covering his dinner.
For today.
Well, sure.
And secondary, have you heard from two orphan twins recently?
Freckle and Blue, you talking about the two, the halfling girls? No, I ain't seen them around here.
When's the last time?
Not... Oh, boy. Maybe 5, 6 days ago?
That
Something like
normal?
that, I suppose? Oh, yeah, they don't come around here all the time.
Do you know where they go when they're not here?
No, I don't... No. They do tricks here every now and again, but I don't talk to them much, so I don't know much else.
What kind of tricks?
Oh, little parlor tricks, magic-y tricks, you know. Making things disappear and reappear and pulling coins out of patrons' ears, things like that.
And that's all. No, magic.
How do you mean?
Um,
You mean like magic, like Ilmara magic?
like this. And I'll spell this. I don't know, cantrip. A sacred flame, but I'll just hold it in my hand.
Okay. Roll a wisdom check to turn this not control flame spell into a small little thing.
Asking for consent for consensual flame.
Yep.
19?
Okay. So what I'll say is you more or less target your own hand, and it's not like a little like Eowyn makes. It's more like this small torrent of flame, like your sacred flame normally looks, comes down and hits your hand and like wreaths up your arm, but doesn't damage you because it's your own sacred flame. And she jumps. What in tarnation? No, nothing like that, and I'll ask you kindly not to do it again. Scare all my patrons. You look over and everyone in here is looking at you. With somewhere in between interest, wonderment, curiosity, and maybe a little bit of trepidation. I haven't seen him. Take your flames out. Shoot! Shoot!
How much for the meal?
So 4 silver. Cover what do you normally get?
Just give 4 for this one.
Okay. And now take your friend and all your flames.
Walking back out.
Okay.
It's gonna look to, after getting past Jed, look to Eclipse and Brightwing. Seems like nobody's seen them in less than 5 days. These are the normal places, at least.
Hopefully it hasn't been too long, if we can find them.
Pont is not knowing where to start.
Yeah.
For the group's knowledge, I will say, or the player's knowledge, I guess I should say, it's probably about 1:30 in the afternoon now, and from what Fennel told you, the best way to get to where you were looking to go would be to come to the docks and then walk along the lake until you saw that rock and the stream that went into the forest. So up to you guys whether you want to do that now or wait, but you're in the right area.
Well, we can keep asking around.
It's unfortunate, but it almost seems that unless a child of a little bit more notoriety went missing, it's easy to write off a few that are living on their own.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be easier to find out where they were actually staying, you know? Because then we could...
Was
know.
what, every other night? Is what Lauren said?
Are you guys back over with us yet?
We'd probably be back by now, yeah.
Yeah.
She said every other night or a couple of nights in a row.
And it's been a few
they'd
days since
stay
the
there?
last time, right?
It's been a couple of days since they stayed there, yes, and she was
Were
very
they-
concerned.
Are they staying the night there, or are they just coming in to perform and leaving when they're done?
I believe it's both.
So it's been a couple days since they've stayed, but it's been at least a week since they've been to the docks.
Mhm.
That might be a better idea, then. That means they must have left from this side of town.
Could mean anything, to be fair. I mean, the dead of night, these creatures come out, take them out of the city. You know? I mean, it really doesn't leave us with a whole lot of information, to be fair.
It's been
Yes.
longer since they've been sighted here, right?
Mhm.
They
Yeah.
I wonder if they got picked up in the middle. They've obviously been making their way back and forth. They crossed
Yeah.
through the dotted hills. I wonder if anyone there would know.
It being next to a lake is also a little concerning. I don't know if there's another cave system going under this lake.
Yeah, and to put it, I guess, abruptly, without Vana, could be incredibly difficult to track that. Have we anywhere in this entire place seen any sort of tracks or trail or anything that reminds us of what these creatures do?
Also,
Of
have there been
Blightling
any
trails?
other
Of Blightlings,
kids?
yeah.
No, I would say passively as you walked, no. Doesn't mean that if you investigated for it, you wouldn't, but as of right now, you have not noticed any.
I'm gonna start keeping a closer eye out for that now,
Okay.
and just kind of mention, if they came into the city, it's a bit more packed. I would think that somebody else would have seen. So it's
Or they would've
Regardless,
attacked
something's
like
not
they did
adding up.
before. They definitely have the numbers, from what I can tell. So
it's not something we're going to get any more information about in town. I think our threads have pretty much dried up here, so. But we'll be able to track them. There's no worries about that.
She did say that she saw the creatures in the woods, or rumor rumors of Inuit, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll be
Might be.
something tomorrow that we see. Tracks
Yes.
further outside of civilization.
We'll keep our eyes out. Should something come up, we can pursue it.
Anything else you guys needed for today?
Nah. I'm all
No,
set.
that was all of the items that I needed. I'm gonna pull out my flute and kind of like just hold it.
Mm-hmm.
Just happy to have a new thing.
Okay. Are you guys wanting to head along the lake, looking towards the forest, or go back into town?
Probably back into town, right?
I think sticking around town.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to spend the night and head out in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I
plan.
think the earlier we head out, the better.
Okay. So you're gonna head back to Toasted Froth.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Yasnip, since you're looking more specifically, and roll an investigation check.
16.
Okay. On the path you walk, maybe once or twice when you're in the hills, you see little patches of dead grass that are near entryways to some of these fenced areas that then have a sort of gate that opens up to one of these hills, and there's kind of like these paths that go up the hills, you assume, to people's homesteads on the hills. And at those entrances, every once in a while, you see, probably a couple times, patches of dead grass. Hard to tell if it's just like some creature peed here too much and so the grass has died, or a blightling was here.
But it's more solitary, not like a trail, right?
Yes.
Could I be,
That's
as
what
we're
I'm
walking as well, just kind of looking out for places that I know people that don't have homes would like find safety?
Okay.
Like just signs of like where those locations might be, just to see if we could figure out where they were holed up.
Sure. Roll a perception check.
— 17.
Okay. I would say you guys make your way back through the hills into the Stonewall Quarter, and towards the Toasted Froth, and maybe a couple hundred yards before the Toasted Froth, you are looking in places that one might look for these kinds of things, Faye, and notice a side alley that has like those graded bars that lead into sewers, so people can like throw things down it, like buckets of stuff, and it's kind of like set in maybe 5 or 8 feet into a stone wall, and there's this little sort of tiny lean-to of like pieces of lumber or driftwood, little like cloth thing that's over top of it. Kind of looks like a little fort that somebody might make, sort of set into this alcove.
Hey, I think I found something. And I'll like cut off.
Follow.
Okay. You want to investigate it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You step inside and see what, by all intents and purposes, seems to be a little lean-to home. Very small area with 2 pillows that are basically just like sacks of grain that are next to each other in a short enough space that a person over 4 or 5 feet tall would not be able to sleep there comfortably. And then a basket over on the side that has a bunch of little trinkety things in it, like little tops and bits of string, a bunch of small coins that not copper and bronze, or copper and silver and gold, but like made of wood or maybe tin or some other metals that aren't commonly used to buy things with, but little pieces of coin that you could do things with. And that is what you find.
Does it look like it was recently disturbed?
No, it doesn't really look disturbed. It just looks kind of left.
Is there any
Nothing
food or
else.
anything around that would have like
No.
something I could put an age to?
No. There's no food here. It's nothing that really stands out as like a measure of time.
Kind of put my hand on the edge of the basket and just kind of close my eyes a little bit. And well, they were a bit more resourceful than I was at their age, but I don't think they've been here recently.
What are you like them? Living like this?
Yeah.
Are you an orphan too?
I don't know. I feel like an orphan, by definition, is someone who has lost their parents, and I don't think I had anything to lose. But I'm obviously doing okay. I have a family. I'm very well loved and taken care of. I'm okay. But you don't forget what it's like to be hungry and to beg and to earn every bite you take. So I connect with these kids. I feel for them. I would very much like to find them. I think if I had had someone like me looking out for me when I was their age, maybe things could have been different.
You say that you didn't have anything to lose. Did you leave?
What's the thing about big cities, right? They don't like street kids. They scoop them up. So I got scooped. I lived in a home for a little bit. And then my mum was bored being a housewife with 4 grown children and picked me. I guess I fit the image of what she had had in mind for a daughter that she never got to have.
You've lost contact with your actual parents.
I don't know if I ever had actual parents. But
I'm gonna take 1 gold and slip it under one of the grain pillows and just leave it there. And walk away.
Never seen people that help people.
never seen people that help people.
Not help people. We are. It's more of a. We have parents, but we are more raised by everyone.
I mean,
It's
I guess
weird
when I
'cause-
was really little, the kids kind of raised each other. But I don't have a lot of memory. I honestly don't know much. I don't remember much. I think it's, I don't know. My mom had me sit down with one of those head doctors at some point about 10 years ago, and I still don't remember much of it, but I know I'm no worse for wear. I don't know that I would have had the same opportunities in regards to who my family is and what their connections are now, and I wouldn't have had the same opportunities in regards to some of the things that I've been able to accomplish up until this point. So I'm not mad. I'm not bitter. But I remember some of it.
Well, still, people should not be alone.
Sometimes people don't have the choice.
And some people are better alone.
I don't agree. People think they need to be alone. But in reality, that is what we are different from animals. We need people. We need each other.
There's a difference, though, between being surrounded by people and being cared for.
Yes.
Being part of something instead of just existing within something.
I think people who think they need to be alone just haven't found the right person to be with.
Well then, this has been absolutely riveting. Let's get back and start winding down for the day, yeah?
Regardless of if they stayed here or if somebody else is, hopefully whatever is getting left helps them out. But yeah,
Okay.
let's head back.
You make your way back to the tavern. Probably say hello to the horses at some point. Get dinner, I assume. Eventually.
Yes.
Anything specific you guys want to do before bed?
I'm gonna read my book.
Okay.
Write that book.
I would
How
go-
much do you want to read?
I don't know. What's it about? It depends. If it's interesting, I'll keep going.
Well, I don't really know how interesting it would be for Brightwing, but it appears to be about beings from the very, very early years of Aanthara.
Ooh.
Before the creatures that walk the earth now walked here.
Oh, it's
Other
book.
beings of much greater power.
I think she would find that pretty interesting.
Okay, I will give you then more information after the session.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else?
I would think that Yaznip would probably have some more butter ale down in the main part of the tavern with his book. And
Okay.
be reading it, but also just listening to the general hubbub, see if there's any new information that springs up.
Okay.
I would go next door to the Riverman's wife, or wherever that is, even if it's a little bit a ways.
Uh-huh.
Is it a little rowdier in there? Is there more going on?
Yes. Not necessarily more going on. The Toasted Frost is pretty busy, but the Riverman's wife, it definitely could be described as a little more rowdy, yes. And it has a very fishing themed sort of decor. Nets and tackles on the wall. Booths are look like shipwood, reclaimed shipwood. The bar is an upside down hull of an old vessel. And the windows are all portholes. It's very much like a niche ship sailing, fishing, this is what it's like sort of place.
I would just go up to the bar and inquire as to whether or not I could trade a few drinks for the opportunity to entertain their patrons.
Okay. You meet a turtle, another turtle. Also looks pretty old, though nowhere near as old as Jed. Very, very skinny, like too skinny to even fit in his shell. It looks like it just bobbles about on him quite a bit. Stringy gray hair, of which there's not very much, but what there is in a ponytail. Sun-spotted skin, a big underbite, and lots of missing teeth. And he's polishing a tankard. You said you want to play some music, eh?
If you don't mind.
Sure, I don't mind. Why not? What do you want for dinner?
Do you have a special? Like any whatever you're known for?
Are you hungry?
Yeah, been traveling.
Sure. Well, if you're hungry, you want an aura cage.
Auroch cage.
Mm-hmm.
All
That's
right,
what you want.
all right. I'll
Just,
trust you.
you want it before or after dinner, because it's going to be messy and you're not going to want to get your instruments dirty, I don't think.
After.
I have it for you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Oh. Set up in the corner somewhere and whip out some sea shanties that I had heard
Oh,
from my
hell
time at the
yes.
docks.
Hell yes. Okay. Roll a performance check.
This is with the lute, because I would
Okay.
probably sing.
True.
30-20.
Woo! All right. I would say you probably make about 5 silver, 9 copper over the course of your time. Seems to be quite appreciated. There are several songs that everybody joins in and sings, and at least 1 or 2 people sings along with almost everyone, and it is just this horrible cacophony of old turtles and humans, and they are not good singers by any means, but all mixed together, it ends up being half okay. And you can't even hardly hear yourself over the din,
That's
but
perfect.
it raises the rabble quite a bit. And then eventually, when you do get dinner, Teddy, it's darkness for Brian.
It's midnight. My lights turned off.
Lol. Teddy Fisher, who owns the place, the guy you talked to at the bar, brings out what is a massive rack of ribs. Probably a good, 7 pounds. And looks like it would be meant to feed a bunch of people. Plops it down in front of you. It is slathered in this dark, brownish sauce that you probably haven't seen actually before, and has these strips of fried, golden-looking something. You're not even sure when he first sets it down. They're a very odd-looking mixture of foods. And he sets it down. Well, feel free to share. God,
Yeah,
unless you can eat all this on your own, good luck with that.
I could certainly try. Do we see any halflings?
Any young halflings or any halflings in general? Young
Uh,
blonde twin halflings?
No, I
Okay.
had told Fennel that I was gonna play here tonight. I was looking to see if they had
Oh,
showed up.
those kinds of halflings.
Yeah.
Roll a d20.
Okay.
Those kind of halflings.
12.
12? No, you do not.
Okay. Fair. I'll just find a body table, like somebody that's having fun and has a few cups in, and sit down and be like, "You guys got to help me eat this."
Ha! There's a bunch
And
of
just
cheering and they start buying you beers.
Yeah.
For sharing your food, and the rest of the night is a mess. And you find out that those golden things, are literally French fries, and the brown sauce is barbecue sauce.
Yes. My life has changed. My first ever French fry.
And these ribs are this big. They're not cows. You probably know what an auroch is. It's not a normal cow. It is much larger. It is quite the experience.
Wonderful.
Anybody else have anything they want to do?
Edwin would definitely make himself scarce. He's probably up in his room by himself,
Okay.
out of sight.
Okay. All right. Everybody eventually finds their rest, some with more alcohol in them than others. And the morning comes. What would you guys like to do?
Well, I mean, probably start prepping to head out.
Yeah.
Head to the...
Can I attempt to attune to the Purple Headstone?
Yes, you can take an hour to do that last night.
Ooh.
You spend some time with it, and then eventually you start to feel it buzz slightly, and she said it adheres to your forehead. So you hold it up there.
Sure.
Okay, you hold it up and put it to your forehead, and you feel it kind of like stick there. And you let go, and it's holding there.
Hmm.
And given that you're attuned to it, you sense it has some power, but that you don't have the power needed to access that power. So you're not quite sure. You're not quite sure what it would do, and you're not quite sure what it would take to unlock it. You do know that it actually has some power.
I would thusly take it off.
Okay.
And do some organizing.
Okay. And then you guys are heading out?
Yes.
To where?
Following the river, right?
The west side of the river, looking for a stream marked by a rock looking like a shark's head.
Okay, so you head down to the docks, and then following the lake away from the docks towards the forest. Eventually you do see the forest in the distance. Yasnep, are you still doing your scan?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say Yasnip and Brightwing. Yasnip roll an investigation check, Brightwing roll a perception check. Or
Natural
survival.
1.
Wow.
For 3.
Survival or perception? I don't know. It's 5 survival. Let's check. Oh, they're both the same. 26.
Good heavens!
+5
This is a
dice.
good dice. I'm praising this dice. The other one was screwing me over. This
Okay.
one's done pretty well.
Before you reach any rock shaped like a shark head, you are walking kind of along the banks, and you notice something in like the sandy, dirty beach head. Looks like small tracks.
We'll go to tracks.
Going from the lake towards the forest. And the forest is now on your left. You've been walking kind of parallel with it for a little bit now.
What kind of tracks?
Roll a nature check.
Years. 21.
With a 21, I would say that given the fact that you had previously tracked them, they look very much like Blightling tracks. And there
Yeah.
seems to be maybe half a dozen.
Yes, Nick.
Hmm.
These are Blightling tracks.
Okay. And they're going in the same direction that we're headed right now? Or they go
No,
off in
they're
the
going
distance?
perpendicular with the direction you're headed. They're cutting towards the forest. You've been walking along the lake parallel to the forest, looking for that shark-headed stream. And you don't see that ahead of you, so you may be faced with a choice.
There seems to be a good amount. 6, maybe a dozen.
Can I listen? Do I hear birds? Wildlife?
Yes, there are gulls.
Well, I guess the question arises, do we want to try to follow
Molly?
this where the track may be a little bit cold? Or do we want to try to go and get the saplings?
Well, which one's more time sensitive?
Well, it depends. If children have actually disappeared and the Blightlings are to be considered, then that would be precedent. However, if they're just missing and it's unrelated, then we could be following a cold trail.
Regardless, it is in my personal best interest to pursue these creatures.
Eclipses
I
that
might-
follow with yours as well. You needed to capture one, right?
If we could, yeah.
Are you prepared to do that?
I
We
might
do have a
have
bag.
I was gonna say we got bags.
We got
Yes,
a
you
bag.
have a laundry
We
bag.
got some rope.
Oh, the laundry bag.
mean,
I meant the burlap bags.
Well,
But yeah.
the burlap sacks are small-ish, like maybe this big. You don't think a blightling would probably fit in it. The laundry bag could possibly fit a blightling.
I
It
am
might-
willing to try.
You don't know what it'll
The
do to the
cleanest.
creature that's in there, but
We'll
The
turn into a
cleanest wife.
lightling.
I might have a spell that might help with this.
Oh.
What's up?
It she gets on the ground. She starts taking stuff out of her bag. Seems to be some incense and some few little bones. And she's going to start praying to the wilds, and I'm going to cast Augury.
oh hell yes!
What?
Yeah. Hal used this, or something like it. Okay.
Wow.
Okay, what's the course of action you plan on taking with this as you cast this spell?
Oh, because I can't give you a direct answer. Oh gosh. All right. If the course of action is going after the tracks, would that
Mhm.
lead to something that we could find?
Okay, so you want to the course of action you're intending in your mind is to follow these tracks to
Yeah.
see what you can. Okay. You feel this breeze kick up, and it comes from across the lake. And as it reaches you, the breeze feels warm, but then there's several sprays, like droplets of water, that feel cold, and then the wind kicks up a bit of sand that kind of like scatters across your arm and your cheek, and it's not fully painful, but it strikes you, and that warm breeze, after it passes, it circles back and flutters your hair one more time. You get the sense both good and bad.
Well, the wilds say that they going down this path would be both productive and dangerous.
Productive and dangerous sounds like it's right up Edwin's alley.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do for a living.
True.
So, all right, I'm just going to ask real quick: are we expecting any other signs of these creatures as we go forward, aside from tracks?
There will be
Have
a
they left
bigger
anything
death.
behind in the past? Oh, lovely. That just sounds wonderful. DM, would I know if my lovely little assistant would be able to use a trail of death? Would that fall into the repertoire of resources available?
Possibly, yes.
Then I will wait on that.
Okay.
Swear to God, if you're a multi-class wizard, I'm gonna freak out.
Intelligence and charisma? Like, woof.
What do you guys
So,
want to do?
I guess we will share a little bit, because we didn't specify much. One of the main things that accompanied these creatures was most of the wildlife vacated the area, not dissimilar to the Kruthic.
Hmm.
It's
That's
almost as
typically
if-
how things go with creatures like this.
It was a different level, though. It was almost
It
as if
wasn't-
death lingered in the air.
It wasn't there are still animals around aware of the danger with the Kruthic. This was no life.
I'll keep that in mind.
The last time we followed them, it went to the underground.
If there's any chance that those girls are with them,
Hmm.
that would be my first priority.
I believe the wilds are saying that there is a good possibility we will find something down that path. Good and
It's
bad.
the path we shall follow.
It's a bit of an obligation at this point.
Yeah, let's press on.
All
Stay
right.
tight.
I will ask one or two of you, whoever wants to be in the front, to roll a survival check to follow these tracks.
I got it.
Me. Guidance.
Yes, you can definitely guidance this.
16.
16? Okay. So you follow this for probably 30, 45 minutes. You reach the forest and start cutting into it, and are struck, or at least to whatever degree you are distracted from the task at hand, by the colors of this forest. It is beautiful, oranges and reds and yellows. This deep, like East Coast autumn sort of look. And after maybe another 30 or so minutes, with a 16, you find a spot where a small clearing where the tracks become a bit of a scuffly mess, and quickly glancing around, you find two small, very small humanoid feet tracks leading into this clearing, and then not away. And then you see the Blightling tracks continuing in a similar direction as you were walking.
Do we see any signs of death?
No.
Or the blight? No?
No, you see no blood. Oh, blight?
The blight, specifically.
Yes. Well, yeah, this whole time, I would say, as you've been walking through the forest, you've been kind of walking in a small path of dead grass.
Okay. I think at this point, then, identifying both in the same place, I will go ahead and reach back into a bag and pull out what appears to be a black tome with the sort of orangey red trim around the cover and spine. And I'll take out a quill, open up the book, and I will go ahead and start using it and jot down a description of what I see, these footprints, the size, the amount, the frequency, as well as the trail of blight, and see what I get back in return.
Okay. So you want to pick two things from the first list. What do you want to pick?
I would like to know the type of creature.
Okay.
And a lair or other possible habitat.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Type of creature, you get monstrosity.
Okay.
Layer, you get a weird response from the book. It almost seems confused, and it's like a bog or a lake or under a lake or another plane. This is, I don't know. It's like this weird, like it's shrouded or it's unknown. There's some confusion here that doesn't quite give you the clearest answer.
Okay. This is very odd. It's not often that we don't know what we're dealing with, but this is very strange.
Who's we?
Oh, right. I'm gonna go ahead and shut the book with one hand. A little bit of a magical tool, if you will, to help me figure out what we're dealing with. It appears they like to dwell in places with high moisture, not necessarily underground. A bog or a swamp would do just fine. But apparently, there's also a non-zero possibility they're extraplanar. They may not be of this plane, they may have come from somewhere else. Something to keep in the back of your minds. We are dealing with a monstrosity, by the way.
We already knew that.
Well, within the classification of creatures that exist in the world, right? So, do with that information what you will, but I believe we should just continue on here. And if we spot any other unique signs within the next, I would say, 9 minutes or so, let me know, and I can see if we can get any more information.
Okay. You guys want to head forward?
Yeah, and I'll,
Yeah.
I'll help keep my eyes peeled as we're running.
Okay.
Sames.
All right. Both of you roll a perception check.
Take up the back.
Never
Okay.
investigation.
18.
You can roll investigation if you want. You may just find different things.
Okay.
19, Brightwing?
18.
18.
30-20.
Wow, okay. You don't find anything new with these creatures. At one point, Faye, you find crossing perpendicularly the path of these creatures, these large claw/paw prints that are probably like this big, going perpendicular. Quite a few in a row. It's kind of curious. Crosses your path and seems to be going deeper into the forest.
Does it look like multiple creatures? Just one creature with a lot of legs.
It's odd. It looks like, yeah, something. You're not quite sure. One of those two, probably. It's hard to make out.
I'll just point it out to everybody. Like that may have been the large growly thing that Fennel was talking about yesterday.
Do I recognize it?
You do not.
Are they feline? Are they?
They
like,
look to be, yeah, they look to be something like a large cat paw, claw, maybe a bear, something in that range.
I will whip out the book.
Okay.
If it's still within 10 minutes.
I would say it's actually past 10 minutes. It's probably another good 30, 40
All right,
minutes.
never mind then.
Okay. You guys want to keep going?
Yeah.
All right. Another hour and a half, you guys are continuing to follow this trail, and you reach the fringe of the forest. And ahead of you, a good ways, you see the road that you came in on. It seems you've crossed through the forest, kind of parallel to the city, come out on the other side, on the east side of the forest, the southeast side of the forest that you saw coming into town. And you continue to follow the tracks. They come a little bit out of the forest, not far, and then they stop. And you see several other tracks sort of meeting up at this same point. And it looks to be that the ground was wet and muddy when this happened, probably from that rainstorm that you guys caught one end of. So the tracks are pretty deep and well set. And you see 2 sets of horse footprints,
Oh, no.
a set of cart wheels,
Oh.
and a large set of what look like boots, very, very deep into the mud, that jump out or seem to get out from where the cart wheels stop, go over to where the Blightling tracks stop, walk around a little bit, walk back, and then the cart.
You said
Seems
2
to have
sets of boot
turned.
prints?
Hold up.
No, 1 set of boot prints, very, very large and very deep. And then the cart seems to pull away back towards the road. And that is where we will end session 10.
I know what you're thinking, Jess, but they already passed us. That
That
was the
doesn't matter.
automaton.
It couldn't have been.
Yeah, they already
Time
passed
of it,
us.
though,
Well,
they
Those
Well,
tracks
were.
would not still be
we'll-
there.
we'll-
The amount of
we'll start
time
coming.
between when they were there.
But the rainstorm was like
if it was
2
the
3 days ago.
rainstorm, the rainstorm was 3 days ago, but we passed them before that. The rainstorm.
The
It
rainstorm
can't be-
went until the night before last.
Yeah.
I thought we passed
And they-
them the day before because we came into Proward yesterday. and
Your
then it was the
town.
day before that we passed them.
Yeah.
So it would have been 2 days ago that the rain. It was like it would have been right when the rain broke.
All I'm saying is
Assuming-
it wouldn't surprise me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
Something to keep in mind.
All right.
Damn.
I'm gonna go pass out.
yeah, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Finish
Yeah.
up the recording though.
Huge
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, we can do that. Just
Do you want to share a favorite memory or a favorite moment, or do you just want to go to bed?
I want to go to
It's
bed.
very fair.
I want to
Okay.
go to bed.
All right, then.
Whole
Thank
session
you all
was
for
very
playing
fun,
this late. Yes,
Yeah.
this was very, very
It
nice
was
to
very
get this
good.
in. So appreciate everybody.
Worth it.
Exposition,
We will sign
favorite
off.
part, yes. There
Yep.
we go.
Oh yeah, face story.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Dropping
Bye-bye.
breadcrumbs.